So for my vlog today, I chose to just go with my photo voice presentation for my capstone class. Let me move forward and we can get started. Alright, I apologize for any background noise you might hear. My computer has its fan on because I have a lot of things running. Let's get started. I pulled a quote from Anna Louise Keating's Teaching Transformations, and it reads, "Deep listening entails respect for each speaker's complex personhood. As we listen, we remind ourselves that each individual we encounter has a specific, highly intricate history, an upbringing and life experience that we cannot fully know. We don't know the forces that shaped her, and at best, we can only partially ascertain her intentions and desires. Our understanding is always partial and incomplete." I especially like this last line here. It pretty much sums up the whole thing. And my topic of choice stemmed directly from that. And I chose to focus on outside reactions to minority advocacy and success. Examples include what happened with Black Panther, in which, as you know, it's a highly empowering movie for Black people, and like hate groups decided to come together and try to overthrow the Rotten Tomatoes rating for it just because of the fact that it was so empowering for this minority group. And we also see this happen with Black Lives Matter and feminism, Me Too and Time's Up, and also religion. I forgot to include that here, but these are all situations in which people tend to put in their 2 cents or make it make something completely different out of it when they don't really understand what it is. And yeah, this is a widespread topic across all of these matters. I want to focus mainly on the relationship between predominantly white audiences and Black awareness, because this is so common. Okay, so this first picture represents white indifference in the face of Black success. We can see here that everyone is looking in the same direction, looking forward and smiling. They're all having a good time. But this person here, who's different, fails to understand really what they're doing and why they're so celebratory, I guess. So they kind of have a disinterest in this context, and they don't really want to participate in whatever's going on here, and they feel out of place and I guess uncomfortable, yeah. Okay, so on this second slide, I wanted to focus on how this person moves on from this situation to trying to make it about themselves, trying to victimize themselves in a way. We saw this happen with the rise of Black Lives Matter. Though it was about oppression and police brutality and all this unfairness towards Black people, we saw these people create All Lives and Blue Lives Matter as a reaction. These movements kind of sprouted from a lack of understanding what Black Lives Matter really was. It was just kind of created to emphasize a different viewpoint and try and make it about a different issue. We see a lot of white people, they try and water down the fact that, you know, these people experience oppression by saying, oh, we face discrimination too, like this happens to me as well, so you shouldn't deserve any special treatment, you know? And then I also observed on Twitter there was this huge phenomenon that happened with the popularity of Black Panther, in which trolls would come by and say, oh, I went to see Black Panther with my girlfriend, and a Black teenager shouted, you're at the wrong theater, and smashed a bottle on her face. This was just a made-up story with a fake picture that was actually from an incident like years ago, in which a 19-year-old was hit by a glass bottle with a man who had tried to grope her in the Swedish nightclub. So just attaching fake photos, and this happened here as well. So that, oh my god, that they proceeded to assault me and I'm heading to the ER, okay? Like, and then like it's so easy to find the source of these kind of images. Like they show up on the internet. It's so stupid how they try and do this, and it kind of became a meme. Like, yeah, like my friend and I went to the Black Panther premiere and he was brutally beaten for not belonging there by an angry group who did not have tickets, and then they attached this picture of Glenn from The Walking Dead and they're like, this is what they did to him. Oh my god, it's so funny. Anyways, moving on to this slide, I wanted to reiterate how a lack of understanding leads to kind of a selfishness in conversation, whereas in this situation, a minority person experiencing oppression tries to explain their point of view to this ignorant being, and they fail to understand because they choose not to listen. They like to ignore points and avoid questions when asked directly, and I guess out of defenselessness, they try and take over the conversation with the loudness or speaking over the other person. And it doesn't help to alleviate the situation at all. There's no communication or understanding that's happening between the two groups. And it's just so counterproductive when this happens. You have to choose to listen and to understand what they're saying, which brings me to my next slide, in which this person immerses themselves in a situation that these groups would experience, and they try and put themselves in their shoes, and they kind of materialize a little understanding of their viewpoint. They give in, they understand, and they begin to sympathize, thinking from a new perspective, which is definitely hard to do for a lot of people, but it's super important to trying to encourage an understanding and a communication between these parties. Once this is achieved, it's easy sailing from there. Once they can understand what's going on and what the movement is about, then they can go on to educate their peers who who may not be open to listening, but it's important having a platform such as this, speaking to your own people who may have had the same initial viewpoint as you in the beginning, trying to sway them and educate them about the viewpoint from these minority groups. Yeah, so definitely a very difficult thing to do, a difficult topic to talk about. Like I chose this picture because this person here is like speaking their mind and getting their attention, but both of them are kind of like, and this person's on their phone and this one's like, okay. But if you have difficulty communicating with others about a certain topic, you can always consult your friends, like minority friends who have these experiences and can talk firsthand. My conclusion is that we need to be more inclined to offer a listening ear to our peers, especially when it comes to difficult topics. Being able to step away from a conversation and see the world from someone else's perspective is one of the most valuable skills one can have. This type of mindset can help to sharpen one's character and understanding of the world. And here's my works cited. Thank you guys for listening. I know it was kind of boring. My voice is kind of monotone, but you made it. You stuck through it. Congratulations.